everyone. This is your state representative, Marcus Vaughn of 9th Norfolk District. I represent the towns of Wrentham, Plainville, Norfolk, Millis Precinct 1, Medfield Precincts 3 and 4, and Walpole Precincts 5. Here today to answer a few questions, questions submitted by our constituents here in Millis, and we'll hopefully give you some answers to those questions and offer up some insight into your concerns during this 194th session for Massachusetts legislature. So tax relief obviously continues to be a major issue with our legislature, and we are working on many amendments and bills to hopefully alleviate some of the tax burden that our constituents face across our 351 cities and towns and municipalities. During the last session, the 193rd session, we extended the senior circuit tax break, which increased the senior circuit tax break from $600 to $1,200 for seniors. So those steps hopefully will prove to be successful as we continue down the road to make it more affordable to live here in Massachusetts. This is one of my major focuses this session is to really dive into the educational formula, being Chapter 70 funding, which all of our towns and cities receive, back to our communities. The funding has been fairly level for many years, and a lot of the towns that I represent are going through some fiscal constraints as it relates to our educational funding. So I have a few bills concerning Mass School Building Authority and the way funds are allocated and divvied out, especially with new school builds. Obviously here in Millis, we're in discussions to renovate or build a new middle school, high school, which obviously affects the tax base, but it's a much needed building that we need here in Millis to go into the future and future growth here in town. So those concerns and discussions are ongoing, and hopefully we can come to some agreement as a legislature to inject more funds into this bucket of Chapter 70 and allocate it more equitable across the board, and not just really drive funds to our gateway cities. There's towns like Millis don't have as high of a commercial injection of tax coming in, so we need to focus more on the smaller cities and towns. Again, major topic here in Massachusetts is Massachusetts being unaffordable. Young families not able to purchase their first home as quickly as they would like. One target that myself and members of our legislative caucus are focusing on is alleviating some of the red tape that builders face today. We've gone, I think, a little bit too far as some of the hamstringing and handcuffing builders with some of the energy efficiency mandates that we have, which actually escalates the cost of home building. We need to get back to a place where builders are able to build obviously more efficient housing, but it can't be to the detriment of the consumer and home buyers here in Massachusetts. Again, another ongoing discussion recently with the new administration coming in. It is very concerning, and I think the state as a whole, as a legislature, need to come together to make sure we have a contingency plan as far as funding is concerned Chapter 90 funding and infrastructure funding for our state roads and bridges in particular. It's critical funds that could be peeled back, clawed back because of ongoing deliberations between our executive office and the federal government. Obviously, we have no control over what our governor and LT, have as far as their agenda as it relates to the federal government. But as a legislature, it's our job to make sure that our cities and towns are well funded, and if we need to claw back some of the programs to make sure that these critical projects are taken care of, then that's what we'll have to do and buckle down and make sure that ongoing projects are well funded until we get more clarity on what the federal government has planned for us. Again, it all comes back to the federal funding. Again, it's up to the legislature to make sure that these critical programs and funding mechanisms are secured. I'm fiscally conservative. If it takes the fact that maybe we don't push funds into some of these pet projects and really buckle down as far as the needs of what our communities actually have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, then so be it. Again, until we have more clarity from the federal government, we really need to buckle up and make sure that funds are used in an appropriate manner and not just wasted. Because it could affect our constituents in our cities and towns for the longevity of this administration. A few bill files that I've had this early session. One is a critical one I'm very concerned with as far as the fentanyl crisis and drugs pouring into Massachusetts like it has in neighboring states. But Bill HD 58 is an act that specifically identifies pill press machines. These machines could be purchased basically online for about $25,000 to $3,000, which unfortunately, if you're a drug dealer, that's a drop in the bucket. But the amount of pills that can be produced from these pill press machines, our police departments, our federal partners are very concerned with the influx of fentanyl pills and counterfeit drugs in general. So this would increase the penalties for anyone who is caught in possession as far as these pill press machines. So that's one of my focuses. Kind of a fun one, HD 59, but I think it makes sense as a food truck bill, which actually alleviates some of the red tape. Most of Massachusetts residents love their food trucks. We see them all the time in the summertime, but they struggle. These are small business owners that struggle to get clarity and acceptance from each city and town. So this is just a bill to kind of alleviate some of the red tape that they have to go through as far as one entity in their host town or city that gives them the clearance and gives them the proper documentation to operate across the spectrum in the state, which would mirror a lot of food trucks, what they go through in Rhode Island, where they're able to go from city and town without having to file any additional paperwork or any additional fees to operate in that particular city or town. And lastly, we have a bill just with recent national events, 3061 regulating drones and the use of high-powered drones in sensitive areas here in Massachusetts. And obviously we have Gillette Stadium down the road. There's really no recourse of action for any of our public safety officials to take down a drone. So just giving some clarity as far as what our officials are able to do in the case of these objects being in the airspace and posing a public safety threat to people in the area. So those are some of my priorities this year, and we have a lot more. We filed over 50 bills, and I definitely suggest you take a look at many through the House Legislature website. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and very willing to sit down with anyone who wants to discuss anything further. Hopefully everyone stays warm this winter. I've also had quite a few customer emails and constituent emails and phone calls as far as the rate hike with EverSource and energy cost. I will actually be putting some information out, giving clarity on why the rates have increased so drastically. So watch out for that. You can see that both on my Facebook page at Rep Vaughn. Also added onto my Instagram and my Twitter feed, which is all the same, Rep Vaughn. And we will send that out via email through our email blast as well.